So today we start our new chapter study of the first element which is hydrogen. Okay. In this chapter you already seen syllabus that you maybe get aware about the position of non-metal hydrogen in the periodic table and general group characteristics. Okay, with reference to valence electrons, its burning, ion formation applied to our mentioned our element. It means hydrogen. Okay, so first you have to read about its form. Hydrogen form water, dilute, acids and alkalis. Okay, so we will go in detail with them. So just starting with the introduction, that hydrogen is the most abundant element in the of the universe. Okay, it was first detected by Paracelsus during the reaction of sulfuric acid on iron in the early 16th century. Okay, so you can see that it is very old known element. Okay, from 16th century we get aware about it. So later on, in 1766, Henry Cavendish prepared it in the pure form and studied many of its properties and called it as inflammable air because of its combustible nature. Okay, inflammable means which get fire easily. Okay, so you already know that highly inflammable is written in some you can see in your outside. Okay, whenever you go outside, so it means it catch fire easily. The name hydrogen, meaning the substance capable of forming water, was given by Lavoisier in 1783. So you already know that Lavoisier, also known as the father of chemistry, because he gave a remarkable contribution on the field of chemistry from very starting. Okay, so hydrogen is the lightest element and is the first member of the periodic table. The chemistry of hydrogen is quite interesting as it shows unique properties due to its unique electronic configuration. Okay, in the coming discussion, we shall study the chemistry of this unique element. So first, we are going to read about the position of hydrogen in the periodic table. Okay, so hydrogen is the lightest known element and possesses unique properties. It possesses only one electron in its valence shell, similar to alkali metals, and resembles them in several properties. Okay, so students, as we move forward in this chapter, so you can easily understand that why hydrogen is considered as this remarkable element. Okay, therefore, it should be placed in first A group first, along with alkali metals. On the other hand, like halogens of 7th A group or 17 group, it needs only one electron to attain the stable noble gas configuration. Hence, it is also resembles halogens and can also grouped with them in 7th A group. Thus, the position of hydrogen in the periodic table is debatable and controversial since the time of Mendeleev when he presented his periodic table, and still now it's a confusion about its position in the periodic table. Some of the important properties in which hydrogen resembles alkali metals and halogens are as follows. So first we read about resembles with alkali metals. So first its electronic configuration. Both hydrogen and alkali metals possess only one electron in their valence shell, as is clear from the following. If you see hydrogen, okay, its valence electron on only one electron is carry, so it means one. And if you see a lithium, with lithium it also resemble outermost electron if you see from sodium, and same that for potassium also. Okay, so it resembles in its electronic configuration with the alkali metals. Next is formation of mono positive ion. Mono means one, and positive, you already know, positive ion, the plus charge. Both hydrogen and alkali metals can easily form monopositive ions by losing their valence electrons. Okay, so if you can see that hydrogen when lose its electron, okay, it forms a electro positive charge there. Okay, hydrogen ion, and same for lithium also, sodium also same thing does. So we can say that H ion and all the alkali metal ions like lithium ion, sodium ion, potassium ion, etc. possesses stable electronic configuration similar to those of noble gases. Okay, next is electropositive character. Hydrogen usually shows a high electropositive character similar to that shown by alkali metals. What do you understand by electropositive character? Any students give answer?
Sir, the electron is positive.
Okay, it get positive charge. Okay, whenever it loses
That positive charge.
electrons. Yes. Next is valency and oxidation state. Hydrogen as well as alkali metals are monovalent. Okay, that is NaCl, if you see example, and HCl also. Next is affinity for non-metals. Okay, if you see, like alkali metals, hydrogen also possesses a strong affinity for non-metals and forms similar compounds like H2O, H2S, HCl as alkali metals forms Na2O, Na2S and NaCl. So it also forms you can say that similar type of compounds which shows by alkali metals. Next is reducing properties. Like alkali metals, hydrogen is also a very good reducing agent. Okay, so and can reduce several compounds. For example, if you see an example, it can reduce reducing agent. Okay, so if you say about its reducing properties, for the example copper oxide, okay, it reduces copper, okay, from its oxide, and water will be formed here, okay, if you provide heat here there. And same for Na, sodium also does the same thing. Okay, it also reduce the copper here. Next is liberation at cathode like alkali metals during electrolysis. Okay, during electrolysis of HCl, it means HCl should be in its aqueous form. Okay, in water you can say. H2 is liberated at cathode like alkali metals when their fused salts are electrolyzed. So if you see the example here, HCl in aqueous is breakdown. We already know in your higher classes you will be read about in class 10th that electrolysis process and in detail. So it break down its in its ions. Okay, so H ion plus Cl ion, and in cathode. Okay, when you see in cathode, what do you understand by cathode? Cathode and anode, will you understand? Cathode means it carries the positive charge. Okay, and in anode it carries negative charge. It is a cell, okay, structure where you will be read in your higher classes. So 2 H plus 2 electron, okay, it converted into hydrogen, and then NaCl in fused form or molten form. Fused form means molten when we heat it. Okay, so it break into its ions Na plus and Cl minus, same like that, okay, of hydrogen chloride, and it also forms sodium element at cathode. So if we see its electronic configuration, halogen atoms possess 7 electrons in their valence shell and need only 1 electron to attain a stable configuration similar to those of noble gases. Similarly, hydrogen atoms also need one electron to attain a stable configuration similar to the helium. Okay, so if you see hydrogen and one electron, okay, short to attain the electronic configuration of helium. And if you see fluorine example, one electron short to attain the configuration of neon. And same for chlorine, it also needed one electron short to attain the configuration of argon. Now we discuss about its atomicity. Hydrogen as well as the halogen molecules are diatomic. Okay, so what do you understand by atomicity? Atomicity, anyone give your answer?
The number of atoms present.
Okay, number of present.
The number.
Yes, Estelle.
The number of elements atoms present in an element.
Okay. So next is formation of mononegative ions. Okay, just like halogens, hydrogen can form a mononegative ion by gaining an electron. Okay, mono means one, negative means one ion it will be get. And we all know that whenever any atom get electron, it will get a negative charged. Okay, so it get one electron here, so it also get one charge here, one minus charge here. And same from fluorine and chlorine also here. Next is non-metallic nature. Similar to halogens, hydrogen is also a non-metal and is a bad conductor of heat and electricity. This question is can be asked in exam, that its non-metallic nature is similar to halogens and it also a bad conductor of heat and electricity. Next is liberation at anode during electrolysis. Okay, when the compounds like lithium, hydrogen and sodium hydride and calcium hydride etc. are subjected to electrolysis in the molten state, hydrogen get liberated at the anode. Okay, anode means in minus charge. Okay, you will be study in later your classes also about that electrolysis process, in which you understand very well. In this respect, it resembles halogens, which also get liberated at anode during the electrolysis of compounds like NaCl, lead, bromide, etc. Okay, so you can see at anode hydrogen get liberated into hydrogen. Okay, at anode. Similar, it shows by chlorine also. So it resemble with halogens also. Next property is combination with metals. Hydrogen combines with alkali and alkali earth metals to form hydrides, which are similar to corresponding compounds of halogens known as halides, that is NaH and NaCl, CaH2 and CaCl2 etc. Okay, so combination of with non-metals like halogens, hydrogen combines with non-metals. Okay, like carbon, silicon, okay, gallium etc, xerium, sorry, to form similar type of covalent compounds. If you see hydrides like methane is formed by carbon here. Okay, and same as for silica also. Okay, and you can see carbon tetrachloride halides are formed here. So it is formed by these hydrides. You can say this is formed by hydrogen and it is formed by chlorine, so it resemble with the chlorine and other halogens in this respect. From the above discussion, it is clear that hydrogen resembles with alkali metals, elements of group first A at one hand, and with halogens, element of group 7th A on the other. However, there are few properties in which hydrogen neither resembles with alkali metals nor with halogens. For example, hydrogen atom has only one cell. If you see, hydrogen atom has only K cell if you write its electronic configuration, whereas Alkali metals and halogens have more than one cells, that is K, L, M, N, and so on cells. Oxides of alkali metals Na2O, K2O are basic. Okay, oxides of alkali metals are basic, whereas oxides of halogen, okay, if you see oxide of halogens are acidic. Okay, this is the difference between them. On the other hand, oxides of hydrogen is neutral. Okay, so some there are difference also. Therefore, it appears that hydrogen should be placed simultaneously in group 1A as well as in group 7A. Thus, it is quite difficult to decide the exact position of hydrogen in the periodic table. In fact, hydrogen constitutes a separate group in itself and should be assigned a separate position in the periodic table. Okay, so now you understand these topics.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes. So yes.
now we move to the occurrence of hydrogen. As mentioned earlier, hydrogen is most abundant element in the universe. About half of the mass of sun and stars is due to hydrogen. Okay, you already know that nuclear fission process occur is here in the sun. Okay, the core of sun contains about 35% and the chromosphere about 55% hydrogen by mass. The planets Jupiter and Saturn consist mostly of hydrogen. In free state, hydrogen is not much abundant on Earth. In air, it is found to an extent of 1 part in 15 lakh parts. Okay, the gases coming out from volcanoes, coal mines.
Your audio is not coming clear.
Okay, coal mines.
Yeah, you have that problem.
Okay, in the combined state, hydrogen is widely distributed on Earth as well as in the Earth's crust. On Earth, it is present in water, coal, petroleum, clay, and in all animal and vegetable matter. It constitutes about 0.9% by weight of Earth crust. It is the ninth element in order to abundance in Earth crust. Okay, it is the ninth element. So some notes are there for your study that hydrogen is the first element in periodic table and is also named protium, meaning first. Hydrogen is the major constituent of universe, about 92%. In atmosphere, it is found 0.9% by mass. So hydrogen has three isotopes. Protium, okay, which is most abundant and it written as 1H1, deuterium 1H2 and tritium 1H3. Tritium is radioactive, okay, and beta emitter. It is in combined state. Hydrogen is present in plant and animal tissues, acids, alkalis, and in organic compounds such as hydrocarbons and carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, which are most essential for living species. Now we move to the preparation of hydrogen. Water acids and
Sir.
Water acids and alkalis constitute the main sources from which hydrogen can be separated conveniently. Okay, the important methods used for the preparation of hydrogen from these sources are discussed in the following subsections. First is preparation of hydrogen from water. Several metals react with water at different temperature to liberate hydrogen from it. Okay, first is by the action of very active metals on cold water. Okay, very active metals like that sodium, potassium. Okay, very reactive is sodium, potassium, mainly calcium is somehow. Very reactive metals like potassium, sodium, and calcium react with water at room temperature and liberate hydrogen from it. Okay, what do you understand by room temperature? Room temperature means you can say that in normal temperature, okay, at approx 27 degree centigrade. Potassium, when potassium is reactive with water, it forms potassium hydroxide and hydrogen is liberated here. You can see. And same for sodium. It forms sodium hydroxide and hydrogen also liberate from this. And when calcium reacts with water, it forms calcium hydroxide and hydrogen liberated. So one note is there, the reaction of very active metals, okay, like potassium, sodium, etc., with water is highly vigorous and violent. The liberated hydrogen may catch fire due to heat liberated in the reaction. Therefore, as such, use of these metals is not much useful. So, however, the reaction can be slowed down by using these metals in the form of their solution in mercury called amalgams. Okay, so if you see the solution of these high reactive metals is known as amalgam. Sodium melts into a globule due to highly exothermic nature of reaction and darts about on the surface of water. Now we move to the next, preparation of hydrogen by the action of less active metals on boiling water. Okay, these processes are done because in first process it is very vigorous and violent process, so it can be harmful for us. Okay, so we can use next action of less active metals. Next, least if you see least active metals such as magnesium, aluminum, zinc, etc., react with boiling water, okay, to give hydrogen. Magnesium react with hydrogen, okay, when we provide heat, it converted into magnesium oxide and hydrogen is liberated there also. And same for aluminum and zinc, they form their oxide, aluminum oxide, zinc oxide, okay, alternatively, and hydrogen is liberated in this process. So one more note is therefore in this reaction that these metals being less active do not react with cold water. The reaction with boiling water also stops after some time due to deposition of oxides formed in the reaction on the surface of metal. Okay, aluminum having great affinity for oxygen